Well, I have to admit that I do actually like this story from a sci-fi writer who says that the orcs from Lord of the Ring are racist. I am not kidding. Science fiction author Andrew Duncan has a message for J.R.R. Tolkien fans. He says Tolkien discriminated against orcs, and the Lord of the Rings books promote racism. Duncan was discussing Lord of the Rings as part of a wider discussion on fantasy. He says it's hard to miss the repeated notion in Tolkien that some races are just worse than others, or that some people are just worse than others. And this seems to me, in the long term, if you embrace this too much, it has dire consequences for yourself and for society. A couple of things. One, Lord of the Rings was written with the Nazis in mind. Are some people worse than others? Yes. Yes, they are. You know how you could tell sometimes? When they wear a swastika on their arm. That's a pretty good indicator that's not a good person. So this is insane. But again, for folks on the left who believe that everybody is of equal moral value and that every choice is of equal moral value, this is silliness. Also, the idea that it's discriminatory because it leads to the idea that biologically there are no good orcs. It's a fantasy book, you dope. And not only is it a fantasy book, nowhere in that book is there a suggestion that hobbits themselves are genetically good, right? I mean, not spoiler alert from 80 years ago, but Smeagol was once a hobbit, right? So the fact is that Smeagol turned bad. He turned into Smeagol. So this whole thing is just silly. But silliness in the woke sci-fi community has become a thing, which is why I think sci-fi literature is getting worse and worse. He says we should allow the orcs to explain themselves. So that's yeah. They mainly do. It seems like they want to eat people. That's their thing.